As it's shown in this figure, the fundings for maternal and child health and nutrition was increased from 700 million to 1.4 billion US dollars from 2006 to 2022. We can see that it was doubled, and it's very natural to ask, why do we see this shift? To answer this question, let's look at the history of the modern healthcare. In the beginning of the 20th century, the focus was on infectious diseases and vaccine development. With improvement in life expectancy, the emphasis on the management of the chronic diseases like cancer, heart diseases, and diabetes was increased. And then, thanks to advancement in technology and our understanding in basic science and epidemiology, we started to appreciate the importance of the early developmental life stage with multi-generational health approach. To illustrate that, I would like to think about growing a plant. If you would like to have a healthy olive tree that lives throughout the centuries, you would start by optimizing every single factor that can affect the seed germination process. You would think about the quality of the seed, soil, temperature, season, climate, light, and water, and so on. So why we shouldn't do the same for human beings? Indeed, the research in the last year showed that the first 1,000 days has significant impact on health during infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and even multi-generational health. It can affect the next generations. And the first 1,000 days include the pregnancy and the first 2 years of infant life, and it's a time-sensitive period. There are so many factors that can affect the health during this time. But as a nutritionist, my focus is diet. And speaking of diet, the gold standard feeding method for infants during the first 2 years of life is breastfeeding. Today, I'm not going to talk about the benefits of human milk, which may take hours to cover, but I would like to talk about a specific molecule in human milk, which is called microRNA. Let's visit our high school biology class quickly. We have messenger RNAs, which are also called mRNA, and we make messenger RNAs from our DNA. And messenger RNAs are used to produce the proteins. Proteins are the functional products. They can have different roles in the body, regulating the cell division, growth, development, transferring different molecules in our blood, or making up the hormones and enzymes. In that scenario, microRNAs are small non-coding RNAs that cannot make the proteins, but they can affect the proteins we make from other messenger RNAs by targeting them. So in this graph, the longer strand in the below represent the mRNA, and the shorter strand represent the microRNA with the yellow cap. So microRNAs attach to messenger RNAs, and they can stop the translation. Translation means the production of the protein out of this messenger RNA. As a result of that, we will see lower production of protein from this mRNA, and we would expect to see some biological impacts. In human milk, we have around 2,000 different microRNAs, and their levels and types are shown to vary across mom based on the maternal factors, including maternal stress, medical conditions like having diabetes or body weight. However, we do not know enough how maternal diet affects the microRNAs in human milk. We do know that diet can affect the nutrients in especially the fatty acids or omega-3 fatty acids or prebiotics or probiotics, which imply that diet quality can affect the microRNAs as well, which is also supported by animal studies, but we are looking at the human studies, which we're trying to understand and find out. Then our second question wants to understand what are the impacts of these microRNAs on infants. Again, some already done research guide us that some of these microRNAs enriched in human milk can target to some messenger RNAs related to insulin resistance, fat deposition, or fat usage in the body, which imply that they can affect the metabolism regulation. Therefore, we want to understand how those microRNAs affect the infant growth and development, which is a critical time to predict the future risk of obesity or chronic diseases in adolescence and adulthood. Given the fact that these conditions are important epidemic problems with growing prevalences, we hope that our observational study will guide the future lifestyle intervention studies to prevent these conditions in the next generations. And to emphasize the importance of our research, I would like to share an information that shocked me when I learned it in the beginning of my master's program. The first dietary guidelines for pregnant and lactating women in the United States was established in 2020. Yes, you heard it correct. It was only 4 years ago in one of the most developed countries in this world. And the advisory committee reported that we need more research on the diet of lactating women because there is a gap in the literature. Therefore, we hope that our research and the other researchers across the country and world will provide insights for future guidelines to help the next generations, both generations actually. As a researcher, I find our research exciting because we can fill a gap in the literature by asking novel questions. Also, as a human, I always find it motivating because we can help moms and kids who are one of the most vulnerable population in this world, also most neglected population in the healthcare research until recent years. Therefore, we always want to keep going, ask more questions to help these populations. But to be honest, in the last 6 months, I have been experiencing a different feeling that I never felt before because I had a hard time to connect with my research. By realizing that our research, my research, only targets the people of privilege who have the ability to make dietary choices or modify their environmental factors. But miles away from here, close to where I grew up, in different countries, in Palestine, in Uyghurs, in Sudan, in Congo, there are people, human beings, who are experiencing genocide or man-made famine. There are moms who lost their kids, there are orphan kids, or moms who cannot breastfeed their babies. Because if she's starved, if she doesn't have enough to survive herself, how she can produce milk? Physiologically, this is impossible. Aside from the microRNAs, just basic nutrients. You may ask me, okay, Hatice, why are you talking about this? What you can do, what we can do? I don't know, I can answer this maybe with different several ways, but also I don't have answer. Because I cannot imagine myself being here today and not talking about this issue, which changed me forever. I'm not the same person I used to be 6 months ago, and I really struggle with watching injustice every day, or feeling guilt of my privileged life that I used to complain before. But I do know something, that with the skills I learned here, my goal is helping the people who are more vulnerable than us to build the ideal world we all dream for it and to be part of the change. Some tragic pictures. And I would like to leave you with one of the favorite quotes from Shirin Ebadi that inspires me every day. If you cannot live the injustice, at least tell everyone about it. Thank you so much.